Yo, yo, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the Think Big podcast. If you're thinking small, you're in the right place. Right here, we're gonna have the right amazing people, two amazing people actually today. We have myself, Alejandro Alvarez, and Marlon Johnson on the road too, man. How's the miles been for you?
Yo, it's been good. We just wrapped up 41 miles for today. In the back of the RV, we got about a 30-minute drive, so I'm going to be bouncing around inside the RV. We're going through Missouri right now. We just got into Chesterfield, and
Yeah.
luckily with everything we're doing right now, you guys know we're doing the Run Across America to raise money for the prevention of human trafficking. We partnered with the charity Sisters Rising, and luckily the sisters out there, they have a house out in the St. Louis area. So they invited us to the house tonight. They told us we'll have
Yep.
clean beds, hot showers, be able to do our laundry, all that kind of stuff. So we're heading over there right now, man.
Nice. Nice, 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 nice. Well, perfect, man. I think we're gonna talk about what we had last week. Now we'll jump right into it. This is part two of 10 reasons your business will not grow in 2024. I think a lot of people gain a lot of information and value from the last week episode. We went in depth. And as you can see, guys, we don't take shortcuts or rush things. That's why we made a part two, because we could have just finished all 10, but probably wouldn't emphasize on the information you needed to hear. And last week, I'm going to go through a quick breakdown, and you guys can watch the last week's episode. We'll probably leave the link here in the chat. And last week was number one is you don't know how to hire. Number two, you're using the wrong marketing channels. Three, your current system isn't scalable. Four, your friends. Five, you lack focus and discipline. Six, you don't know how to prioritize things in your business. And that's where we left off last week.
Yeah, and let's if you're cool with it, I want to take it back
Hmm.
for a moment back to the number five, because as I was running today, what I like to do in the mornings while we're out here on the roads in the morning, uh, I'll listen to usually an audiobook, maybe a podcast. So I've been able to get a lot of time to consume new information. I go in and out of seasons of information consumption during like work season. I'm not really consuming any new information because I'm implementing, but out here on the road there isn't really any time to implement, so it's a lot of information consumption. And what I've been picking up and gathering and regathering as I'm listening to people that have built seven-figure businesses, eight-figure businesses. I was listening to a podcast this morning with a former employee of Meta, formerly known as Facebook. He was employee number 30. He had worked directly with Zuckerberg in his early 20s, putting together Facebook. And check this out, Alejandro. He said in this interview, he was being interviewed by Lewis House. Lewis asked him, hey, what are some of the things that you learned from Mark Zuckerberg? Right? You got to be employee number 30. That's a pretty intimate setting to be learning from one of the wealthiest individuals on the planet, one of the most influential people on the planet. And he said, you know what? Actually, something that stood out to me was during the time of Facebook startup, he came to Mark and he said, yo, we should basically roll out this product so that we can start bringing in profits and revenue to the business. Like, dude, we're growing rapidly. We need more funds. We got to be able to pay new people. We need money. And he said Mark took him into a room, right? The founder of Facebook took him into a room and wrote on a whiteboard one word: 1 billion. So I guess two words. He wrote 1 billion on the whiteboard. And he said, my only focus is getting a billion users on this platform. If it doesn't have to do with getting a billion users on this platform, if it is not directly benefiting that end goal, then we're not doing it. We're scratching whatever project that you may come up with. And talk about hyper focus. Talk about hyper clarity. That's Henry Ford level of focus when it comes to Henry Ford demanding of his employees, build me the V6 engine. I want to emphasize this. If you're listening to this podcast right now and you are feeling stagnant in your business, you're feeling stagnant in your life, odds are you don't have a clear picture. And in fact, I would actually bet 100% with certainty, I can diagnose your problem. You don't have absolute clarity on your business. You don't have absolute clarity on the vision that you want to build. And if you're missing that clarity, you're going to get lost. You're going to start wandering off, and that will cause your business to fail. So I just wanted to make sure we came back and emphasized that fifth one right there, because that's huge. But Alejandro, we're going to be rolling into number 6, right? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes, sir. Number 7. Yeah, and looks the CEO. He said, "Damn, no, Sam. I wanted to thank him big time for
hooking us up."
Yeah, hooking us up. I'm talking TIFF high class this month because of him. I'm taking TIFF class because of him. Thank you guys. Too many. This is the best wholesale podcast ever. Thank you, Mr. CEO. That's really much appreciated. And congratulations on hopping on TIFF's class. I heard amazing things about her. But yeah, let's jump right into number 7, which is you don't have or know how to get free money. Wow. Okay. Mr. Marlon, when you first started, did you start it with money? Did you instantly just, hey, let me drop a whole bunch of cash into this marketing for my wholesale business or for whatever business you wanted to start in?
To a degree, yes and no. Let me talk about that. And I'm coming through, Alejandro, or is my freezing? You just froze on my screen.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
So yeah, so let's talk about this, because this is one of the biggest issues. A lot of people getting into business are lacking capital, and they don't understand how to effectively raise capital. And most people think the holdup is I don't have enough money, and it's less about money and it's more about access to capital. So when I got into real estate, for example, I didn't have a lot of money. I had $3,000 saved up in my bank account. That was actually about it. $3,000 was basically my life savings, and I owned a car. My net worth was $5,000, and if you count the credit card I had that had a $3,000 limit, my net worth was $8,000. The very first thing I did when I got into business was I invested in my education. I invested in getting a mentorship program and going out and getting somebody to teach me how to do real estate. And in order to do that, I had to go and effectively buy a $25,000 mentorship program. To get that money, I had to tap into the access to capital that I had, aka the bank of mom and dad, aka the bank of my family members and friends and family and credit cards and all that good stuff. I had to get creative, right? We talk about creative financing. I got creative in order to essentially take that first leap of faith. And it's been a skill I've been using ever since to buy property, to fix and flip homes, to add to my rental portfolio. I primarily have every property I've purchased. I've never used any of my own money. I use what we call OPM. And a lot of people, their business is stagnant because they don't understand how to raise the capital and how to get access to free money. And free money comes in multiple forms. When I was wholesaling, Alejandro, you know how expensive this business can get. Buying data, paying for dialers, paying for CRMs, paying for new systems, buying every new widget that every guru is telling you need every next month because they get an affiliate to that thing that you buy. The interesting thing about this, Alejandro, is there's different ways to access capital without needing to borrow money. For example, I needed data in order to make my business grow. I realized I was able to connect with buyers in my market that I would be selling the deals to who were open to spending money on marketing. How do I know? Because they're willing to pay assignment fees, which essentially is their marketing budget. They're open to spending money on marketing. I came to them and I said, hey, would it be okay if you bought the data? I'll call the data. I'll have my team work the data. And in return, you get first right of refusal on, right? Like you don't have to compete against other people as long as you're okay with me putting a fair assignment on it. This is another being able to tap into what we call free money. So a lot of individuals need to understand you want to tap into free money. If you're building your business, you want to figure out how do I tap into capital and how do I get access to capital and access to resources by figuring out how to bring value back into the marketplace, bring value to other people. So Alejandro, for you, tell me, like, what do you think about when you look at knowing how to get free money?
Honestly, when I hear about getting free money, it's just, for me, it's like, okay, you have to put your time into it. Like when I first started, I had $0, honestly. And let's just put in perspective for my wholesale company how I first started is I literally just got on the phone. I found a list, got on the phone, started calling. You know what? Maybe the list cost me $50. I think I made like $3,000 that same day of finding that list. So that was a great investment. But all I had to do was just get on the phone and start cold calling. I mean, that's something I didn't want to do, nor was I happy to do. It's just something that was needed to do to propel forward. And at some point, I think we had maybe over 17 employees with all the VAs we had. And now we slim it down a lot tighter. We have more systemized process in place, which is great. But I mean, either way, there's so many other ways to get free money. You can literally go out, reach out to someone like Marlon or myself. Hey, do you have any leads you need help with selling? Yeah, I do. Okay, great. Here's a lead. And you can disp a deal. Let's say you're good at disposition. You can go disp a deal. That didn't cost you anything but your time and find a buyer and just JV on it. Joint venture. Partner up with the person and you can make an assignment fee over from a deal you didn't market for, you didn't pay for, you didn't cold call, you didn't have to underwrite, nothing. You just, hey, I have a buyer, and you can start doing that very easily to find buyers. Just build connections. Go into Facebook groups, look at all the buyers. Hey, I saw you comment, and here's a little hack, guys. You can go on Facebook group and search deals. I don't know, just put Dallas, Texas, and you'll see people posting deals, and you'll see buyers putting their emails below. DM them. Hey, I saw you're looking for deals in Dallas. Can you tell me a little bit about your buying criteria so I can send you deals? And then now what you do is you go look for wholesalers that are posting those type of deals. Let's say you can even reach out to the same guy you found him under. So like, hey, how often do you get wholesale deals? I have buyers that are looking for deals because a lot of the wholesaler that post deals on Facebook, they don't take the time to build a relationship with those buyers that are making comments. They just send them an email, and if they don't like it, that it is what it is. But if you take the time and build relationship with those buyers, they'll be more than likely to start buying deals from you. So that's really how easy you can start getting deals for free. Just build the connections, find the right people, and just send them over to your buyer. The CEO say you guys dispo JV deals. Can you elaborate a little bit on your question? What do you mean? Like when you have multiple JVs on there, do you guys dispo JV deals, like a deal that has a JV already? But the answer is yes. It depends on the situation. If we have clear communications in place, because I've did the mistake, Marlon. I don't know if you ever did a JV deal where the other person has it under contract, but you can never get hold of the other person, and then you find a buyer, but then your buyer can't go see it because you can't get a hold of the other person. Those are horrible situations. So as long as you have the clear expectations and have communication with the person, you'll be good to go. Yeah, of course I'm down to JV with you guys. I'm always down. I have a process in place. A lot of people submit us deals. We underwrite it. Because we've seen people sending us deals where they have it in a contract for 150. They put ARVs 300,000 when really the ARV is 190. I'm like, oh, that's not a good deal. We're not gonna waste time and just put those deals. But that's really how you can get free money, and it's step by step formula. Go to Facebook, search a city, you'll find deals, and you'll find hundreds of buyers under those deals. Build a relationship, tell them what they're looking for, go find wholesalers, ask them if they're open to JV, send it to your buyer. Make sure you have a JV agreement signed. Because if you find a buyer, you have nothing signed, there's nothing protecting you. That person could just run off and take your buyer and make money on their by themselves. I've seen it happen. I don't know why people would do it, but you have to protect yourself.
Love it, man. All right, so let's talk about this next one. Let's look at this. We're looking at the 10 reasons why your business won't grow in 2024. And number 8, this is huge. You're afraid to invest in leadership. In your leadership in particular. And when we talk about investing in your leadership, this is arguably something that I see a lot of individuals get held back with. They will have initial success in something, and it's usually an ego thing. You have initial success, you start to add more on your plate, you look at yourself in your business and you say, like, I'm the best person to do this. Therefore, I'm going to keep doing this. And you basically try being the same person while also growing your business. Unfortunately, that's not the same thing that gets you to level one, isn't the same thing that gets you to level. I've experienced this, I'm going to call it like a stunt in growth. And as I was trying to grow, doing more of the same did not start to add growth. You have to become a different person. So when you talk about investing in your leadership, when we say investing in your leadership, I'm talking about getting yourself around different circles, getting yourself around different mentors, going and seeking out answers from people that are at higher levels as you continue to grow and as you continue to level up. Investing in your leadership is equivalent to, if you're an athlete, going from junior varsity to college to the league. You have to continuously keep looking at how do you level up. And if you're afraid to invest in your leadership because you're afraid of, here's the typical reasons people are afraid to do this. One, it's the financial cost. Investing in yourself typically is going to cost you money or time. Usually both. It's absolutely going to cost you both most of the time. And the second reason people are afraid to invest in their leadership is, unfortunately, it's a feeling that they almost don't want to look like they need help. They like being in charge. They like looking like I'm the one that has all the answers. I would argue that the best leaders are the most incompetent people. Right? I learned this from Dan Martell. Dan said, if you want to become a millionaire, get lazy. If you want to become incompetent. When he talks about being incompetent, he actually says, as a leader, my job is to go and make and build other people up as better leaders, put them in position where they know more than me. If I go and I bring someone into my world to help me build something, that person should know more than me. But that's a tough thing for people to do, for them to basically put themselves beneath the people that they bring into their world to help rise them up. You have to let go of that ego. But Alejandro, let me ask you, have you seen entrepreneurs get stuck and stagnant because they're afraid to invest in their leadership?
Yeah, absolutely. I see it all the time. And you have to look at this differently. You have to ask yourself, how much is this costing you not to do? Ask yourself that question and think about it really. If you're stuck at something, let's say I don't know, man, let's say you're making $5,000 a month and you're trying to get to $15,000 a month, but you can't. You just make 7K and go back to 5, maybe 0. What is it costing you to not make that $15,000 a month? Well, let's just do the math really quick. Let's say you're already making 5K. That's $10,000 extra per month. Times 12, that's $120,000. So think about it this way. Okay, great. If I don't invest in myself, let's say, Marlon, what do you think, hypothetically speaking, what it would cost to get information on how to make 15K a month? I'm going to assume that's not even a big, expensive guru
To make
on wholesale.
15,000
In wholesale. Yeah, in wholesale.
in wholesale, to like I don't know, someone's program to make $15,000. I imagine they're about to sell it for like $1,500.
Yeah, $1,500. So are you afraid to invest $1,500 and leave out $120,000 per year? You have to start thinking about stuff like that. Now, it's going to cost me $1,500. I don't know if it's worth it. Well, do the math. You're trying to get to 15K a month. How much is that worth to you? Marlon, would you pay $20,000 right now if somebody told you can make $120,000 back?
Easy. So I was
Easy.
doing that, and then check this out. Here's one of the big things. When it comes to leadership, as you're building a team and you're bringing people in to help you build your business, you bring people in to help grow your business. You have to think about the people that you bring in. Your job as a leader is to actually grow your people. Your job as your leader, when we talk about investing in leadership, it's also investing in growing them. Right? The job of the CEO, the job of the business owner, the job of the founder is to grow people. And the people that you grow, their job is to grow your business. Patrick Bet-David recently wrote a book, Choose Your Enemies.
Marlon, can you speak just a bit louder?
I could try. Is there too much noise happening inside here?
Yeah, I can hear you fine, but sometimes the noise will kind of overtake it.
Got you. So Patrick Bet-David recently wrote a book called Choose Your Enemies Wisely. And Patrick Bet-David's an entrepreneur that I highly, he's someone I look after. I read his books. I love that dude. He speaks about this when he was growing his business. He grew a company that he just had a $400 million exit in about 4 or 5 months ago. And he talks about how the number one thing, or one of the number one things they focused on, was growing their people, investing in their people's leadership. Invest in your people, grow your people. He would take money out of the accounts and pay for them to go and get further training, pay for them to go to conferences, pay for them to be a part of masterminds, give them all the resources. You need to do that for yourself and your employees. Not every employee. You're not going to do this for someone who's brand new, who just joined your team yesterday. You're not buying them $10,000 mentorship. But if you have a director, if you have a leader in your company, don't be afraid to invest in their growth as well. Because as you grow your people will grow your business. They'll take care of your customers, and they will innovate. So just want to make sure that doesn't get missed.
I need to order that book. Did you already read it, Marlon? You go ahead and order that.
Yeah, great book.
Perfect. All right, well, perfect. Let's get right into the other one. Again, ladies and gentlemen, that was you're afraid to invest in your leadership. Do not be afraid of doing that because it's going to cost you tons of money. Do the math. Ignorance cost. Is that what they call it, Marlon? Yep. Cool. So we have number 9, which is you're afraid to invest in mentorship. Is that very similar to the last one, or we can elaborate a little bit more? Because Marlon, I know you and Sam really go crazy on the mentorships.
Yeah, so the mentorship, being afraid to invest in mentorships is different than being afraid to invest in your leadership.
Okay.
With the mentorships, typically when we look at mentorships, we're looking at mastermind groups, we're looking at joining into different communities. And what can unfortunately happen, and Andrew, I'll answer that later, what can unfortunately happen in mentorship programs, I can just tell you with my own word, right? When I was in business, when I was getting started, I was concerned about spending the money. I looked at mentorships, I looked at masterminds, I looked at joining into communities as a cost versus an investment. And some of you do the same thing. And here's how I want you to look at it. Relationships are going to be the thing that grow you, that take your business to the next level. And inside of mentorship programs, yes, you're going to find information, and it might be that you need to help unlock everything. But typically, you're going to find other people in your field. You're going to find other people in your industry that you'll be able to collaborate with, that you'll be able to JV with, that you'll be able to sit down and have conversations with. You want to look for pairs. As I join mentorship programs, as I join masterminds, as I get a part of communities, what I personally like to do is I like to look for inside those spaces the top producers. So Alejandro, you used to do sales, right? You did car sales. When you were inside the car sales world, when you were working inside of a dealership, did you find any other top producers around you?
Did I find any top producer besides me?
Like were there any other top producers inside your shop?
Yeah, I would say I always had 1 or 2 competition. It was like maybe, yeah. Go ahead.
So you had some people who were top producers, and did you also have people inside the building who were not producers?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Cool. So you were in the same environment, and you had people that were producing at a high level and people that were producing at a low level. The same thing happens inside of mentorship programs. This is the part that kills me. This is why people are afraid. When they're thinking about investing in a mastermind, I have a buddy who sells high ticket. He sells for people who have coaching programs. He sells for people who have masterminds. And so one of the major objections he gets from people is they're like, hey, well, how are the students doing inside that program? And when people ask that question, to me, it's kind of like, hey, the people that what are the results they're getting? I don't care about the results of everybody that shows up at the gym. I just want to know what are the results of the top producers. Hey, who are the people that are producing at the highest level in your program? When you guys join into masterminds, look for the students who are producing at the highest freaking level. And look at this as a capacity to get access to them and the people who are teaching these. So when I look at mentorship programs, when I look at masterminds, when I look at communities, that's the way I assess it. And I say, are these groups of relationships worth investing?
I think Marlon broke out for a little bit there. Oh, there he is.
Yep. And I'm going to be cutting in and out just as we drive. We're in the back of the moving RV right now.
All good, brother. That's what you call discipline, ladies and gentlemen. Marlon could have easily just said, hey, you know what? I don't have good signal. I can't make a day. Showed up, made it happen. I don't know where the heck you got that headset from, but you found it, man, and you made it.
Yep. So, but did you catch that last piece?
No, can you repeat that?
What's the last thing you heard?
Last thing I heard is when you were talking about the top producers. Ask the mentorship guys, what are the top producers? What are they doing? And then it got a little bit fadey in between from there.
Alejandro, say that again. Anytime I drive over a bridge, we lose internet service entirely.
Yeah, the last thing I heard was you talking about the top producers, asking the mentorships, what are the top producers doing, and getting close to them.
Exactly. So ultimately, guys, when you invest in mentorships, right, the questions you need to ask, you want to start asking better questions. Ask, who are the top producing students inside this mentorship? What's the network that I'm going to get access to? Right? Who are the friends I'm going to be able to make? Who do I get to rub shoulders with? Who do I get to rub elbows with? That's what we want to ask. That's what we want to find out. All right. Alejandro, you want to add anything to this?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just going into mentorships alone, that has helped my business grow massively because I was stuck thinking little. You know, when you do stuff by yourself, there's only so much you can think about. You don't know what you don't know. And when you start surrounding yourself with top producers, you start to realize, oh, I was thinking really small. It's actually possible to become bigger and grow this bigger. So just the idea, the thought that you can grow bigger than what you believe, it's life-changing alone. Because we all lack we all have lack beliefs when it comes to goals that we want to achieve because you just don't know what you don't know. So you have to go gather that information, go see what the top producers are doing. Because then you'll meet them in person. You'll be like, oh, this is just a regular guy, just like myself. In fact, some are less educated than you are when it comes in the world. They're just around the right people and have the right systems in place, and they're making 100 times more money than you are. So think about it. There's someone, and this honestly, I don't know about you, Marlon, but this actually gets me really upset when I think about it. And I'm over here in and out, stressing about this, doing that. And there's someone less educated than I am. And when I say less educated, I mean it's as far as the business, will come to the business. And they're making 3 times, 4 times more money than I am with less stress. Because they have a different system in place. And the way to find that system is by surrounding yourself with those people, the top producer. So you have to go gather the information. Look, sure, I can say I'm the best closer that I've known, but how do I know that? I need to go figure out the top closers. I need to go find more of them because I'm going to learn something from them to become even better and better every single day at what I do. So it's really important. It doesn't matter how good you think you are. You're always going to lack information to become better. And you're going to get that from someone else that's producing a lot more than you are. So don't get stuck in your own way because you can be your worst bottleneck and you don't even know it. So go out there and seek, be a student. I'm always a student, bro. I have a big pet peeves when it comes to like someone seeking information. And then when you drop that information, they like try to debate you on it. Like, what? How does that even make sense? Be quiet. Take the information and go implement it. That's what I do. This guy's making 10 times more money than I am. You want me to do what? How do you do this? Okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Got it. Perfect. That's what. Okay. Awesome. No problem. That's it. And once you implement that, you start to grow. You'll start to grow. When I went to my first mastermind, they told me exactly what I heard. A lot of people going back and forth. Yeah, but if I do this, this is going to happen. I went there. Here's my problem. What do I do to fix it? Okay, you do this, you do this, you do that. Okay, great, perfect, got it, awesome. Started 3xing my income. Didn't ask a single question back. Okay, got it. This is all I need to do. No problem. Now, why was I comfortable doing that? Because this guy's making 100 times more money than I am. Who am I to debate his information? He has it. So that's a tip for you as well. Just be a student. Relax. Stop overthinking it. Take the information, take action on it. Trust me, it works.
Love that. Now, let's look at the final reason, right? That your business will not grow in 2024. You're afraid of taking risk. I want to make this crystal clear. Entrepreneurship, business, it is going to involve risk. No risk, no reward. Now, as entrepreneurs and business owners, we do look for asymmetric risk reward. In other words, I'm looking for opportunities that offer low risk and in return very high reward. However, it is still a risk. If you're not looking to take a risk, you instead opt into becoming an employee. And there's nothing wrong with being an employee. You're just saying that you value safety and security more than you value a high growth ceiling. Right? Having an infinite growth ceiling, infinite potential growth. Now, let's look at something. I want to pay attention to this. In 2020 or 2021, I did one of the riskiest, scariest deals of my life. I had a property in Lancaster, California that I had purchased. I had put under contract to purchase. It was cash purchase for about 300, I believe it was 300,000. Or it was like it was 300,000. I was able to flip that property to a buyer for 340,000. However, that property had tenants inside of it. And after I closed on the deal, after I purchased the property, the tenants picked up the phone and basically told me they're not leaving. In a state like California, this is scary. Like I knew this. Like I closed on the property before I had confirmation that we'd be able to get the house vacant, before I knew. And long story short, we were able to work through that deal, and I was able to talk with the tenants, have a conversation with them. They ended up moving. They just didn't want to, but they realized they were getting away with murder with the rents they were paying. They realized that they ultimately had to move on. And the crazy part about this is I was scared, like absolutely terrified to go and raise the money for that deal. I was terrified to actually close on that deal, to take ownership of that property, because if the tenants had decided, you know what, screw you, we don't want to leave, that could have been a 12-month long litigation. I could have been paying hard money cost on that. I could have been the buyer could have walked away and backed out and decided they don't want to buy anymore. And now I'm stuck with this asset with tenants who hate me, with a hard money loan on it. But because I was willing to take the risk, I analyzed, I did my homework, we were able to make a little over a $40,000 payday from that deal. And so growing your business, making money, it's going to involve taking risk. But if you're so afraid of the risk that you are unwilling to put yourself into new situations, you're not going to get the opportunity. If you're waiting for it to be so safe and secure, the innovators are going to show up first. The early adopters are going to show up first, and they're going to snag the opportunities. You got to be willing to take risk. Now, the way we mitigate risk is becoming experts in. This is why focus matters. It's hard to become an expert if your focus is consistently scattered. But as your focus starts to get locked in and dialed in, you start to be able to analyze situations a lot faster. You start to be more and more comfortable taking those risks. So, Alejandro, what do you think about this, though? When you look at, do you think it's possible to grow your business without taking risk?
No, absolutely not, bro. Absolutely not. I think about yeah, I think about 80% of everything I've done, maybe even more, somewhere in that range, was all risk. Was all risk. I quit a six-figure job to go strictly wholesaling. That's a big risk. It took me a few weeks to ponder on that and really think about it. At the time, I couldn't really afford to stop working, but it was a big jump. It was a big leap, and I had to take that risk. There's so many other risks I took. I've spent my last dollar in marketing, but I had the confidence that I was going to get it back. And when you're backed up in a corner like that, and you have no option but to take the proper action to get that money back. I promise you that. And this other risk when hiring employees. Oh my God, am I going to be able to pay this employee next month? Those are risks. But meanwhile, you're taking the risk. Your business is growing. You're growing mentally as a person. You're growing as your business is also growing. So all the risk you're taking, if you're taking all those risks, it's going to be equals to the right steps to getting you closer to your goals. But if you think you're going to open up a blueprint and you take step by step by step by take and not taking any risk, and you think this is going to be a smooth process or it's going to be like a vacation at the beach, it's not going to be that. It's going to feel like a roller coaster. I never really I never really knew what the roller coaster thing meant, bro, until I really got into business. Oh my God, we made $100,000. Okay, great. Next month, uh, what happened? We didn't make any money. Roller coaster. Wait, wait. Oh, we're making more. Oh, the deal fell through. Oh, that's a real roller coaster right there. Emotionally, financially, we all been there, but it's all worth it. You're taking the right steps, and you truly believe that what you're doing is for the right cause, and you're going to achieve your goals, and you have the right people in place, the right system in place, and you're open minded to becoming better and better, and invest in yourself, invest in your team. The math is always going to equal to success if you do it that way. And guess what? One day somebody may come behind you and take it all away from you, but that's okay because it's not what you have in your pocket that matters. What they took away, they can't take away what you learned through that journey to get you there. Right? So think about it that way. It's not easy, but as long as you believe and you take the right actions, you're going to make it. Whether it take you a year, whether it take you 5, 10 years, you're going to make it if you take consistent action, taking those right steps.
I love that, man. So let me ask you this, Alejandro. When it comes to risk, does it always pay off? Like I like just being honest, right? Like does you know opening yourself up to risk? Like, are you gonna always win?
I don't think you're going to always win in the perspective of achieving what you meant to achieve. I do believe that you're always going to win from experience that you get to acquire through that process. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. We just are like in the middle of transitioning right now inside here in Darby,
What state are you in right now, bro?
Missouri.
Oh, nice. Yep. But yeah, that's literally all I mean. I mean, if you're gonna some risks are just gonna backfire. You're be like, oh crap. But then you're gonna learn what not to do next time. But you win because of the information you acquired, but you didn't win because you didn't achieve what you meant to achieve.
I
But it
love
also
that, man.
depends on what you look at more, what you focus in more.
So let me ask you this, right? Like, what are you focused on for your business in 2024? Is it a main focus to like what's your focus right now for 2024?
Main focus is the system, the consistency of the system, the lead generation, the consistency where I don't need to be there for the company to succeed. Because if I need to be there, I'm always going to be a bottleneck because I have other things going on. I have to take care of this, but I need to have a system in place where my team can always win. Right? Every single time someone can win, make sure they're achieving their goals financially, numbers wise, and having the right system in place where you can put the right resources in front of your team so they can make the necessary. Oh, okay. So they can make the necessary funds they need to make and get closer to their goals. That's really what I'm going to focus on. Oh, wow. It's dark over there already, man. Getting dark. That's going to be the main focus for me this year, 2024 system, and implementing a lot of the lessons I've learned from the mistakes, because there's tons of mistakes I did in 2023 that I will not be doing in 2024, but I will implement the lessons I've learned from it to get me closer to my goal. And oh, are you in the driver's seat now, dog?
Yeah, I'm in the driver's seat. Yeah, sorry, we're just like getting in somewhere. I actually might need to jump off just because we are being the charity that is housing us tonight. They have somebody staying after to have the doors open. They have the security guard and one of the sisters here staying after to have the doors open. So I might need to help the guys get some stuff inside. That's sorry for walking around and just trying to get things coordinated on the road. It's been really, you guys already know this. It's not the easiest thing in the world to keep any sort of routine.
All good, brother. Go ahead and handle that, man.
Alejandro, I appreciate you. I appreciate everyone hanging out here tonight. I'll let Alejandro wrap up the call for tonight. Alejandro, you're good on your own?
Yes, sir. Let me know how everything goes, man, and good luck.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, brother.
Yes, sir. Perfect. You guys are here by myself. You guys have me to myself, to yourself now, and I got some pretty cool tools I forgot to even use. Marlon was here. Are they? Let me know if you guys can hear it. You guys hear that? You guys hear that? I'm gonna get crazy in here. Okay, we're live. Isn't that cool? That's some little sauce to the podcast. All right, so well, Marlon is not going to be here for the rest of the podcast, obviously. So we have. Did we went over to taking risk? Yep, we did. Number 10, and then we have a bonus one. Hey, what's up, Rashana? Nice to see you. Always nice to see you. But what questions do you guys have? What questions do you guys have? Where are you in your business? Put in the chat. Where are you in the business, and what are you struggling with right now, right at this moment? Now will help you solve it. I'll do the best way I can. This is one of my favorite quotes, by the way.
Pick up the phone and start dialing. I want you to deal with your problems by becoming rich.
Let's see who else we got. I think we had a question from name of the book, Andrew. The name of the book is, I had it pulled up earlier. Where'd it go? But it's Choose Your Enemy Wisely by Patrick David. Look it up again. I swear I just had. There we go. Yep. Choose Your Enemies Wisely. And that is by Patrick Bet David. I'll put the link in the description in the chat. Let's see. Share to all. Okay, cool. The link to that book is in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see. Karen said, right now I have issues with prototype and timing. When you say prototype, Karen, do you mind elaborating a little bit? Now, as far as timing, do you mean like trying to get stuff done at a specific time? You don't know what time to do X, what time to do this, or you getting distracted? What exactly? Give me a little bit more details. Yeah, Patrick is dope. Patrick is really dope. Who's wholesaling in here? Put in the chat if you're wholesaling or you're trying to get into wholesale. Let's see here. Not too much because it's a completed project. Are you saying that you just don't have time to complete the project? Mr. CEO say I am just going nationwide now. What does your system look like, Mr. CEO? And do you have trouble with anything? At some point I was doing nationwide and I started narrowing it down, and there's a few reasons for that. And I'll share with you. Perhaps it can save you from doing the same mistake that I did. But I don't know. You probably have a way better system right now than I did back then. But going nationwide when it comes to wholesaling, the challenges you face is not having consistency. And that's because you don't have specific buyers in those markets. And it's going to be harder to move those deals. If there's been deals that I could have sworn we're not going to sell, but there's a JV person that has a buyer there already, and we sold it instantly over asking price. So you have to be really careful when you jump into those other markets. Make sure you have the right buyers in place. So, Mr. CEO, I don't know what you systems in place you have, but before you jump into a different market, talk to at least 5 buyers. I'm talking about big buyers. You can easily find those buyers on PropStream and see how many fix and flip they're doing per month, per year. Ask them what are their buy box. Get at least 5 of them. How fast can they close? That's a really important question because you'll have a buyer like, oh, I can close in 50, 60 days. It's crazy. It's a lot of anxieties to wait for a wire for 50 to 60 days. So there's some buyers that can close literally tomorrow. I have those type of buyers. So when you have those buyers, if you have a deal in a scenario where, oh, this person is facing foreclosure, I need to sell this deal within less than a week. That's going to be really challenging, but you can still obviously still put a hold on foreclosure by sending proof of that, proof of this, proof of funds. And as long as you have your buyer in place, you'll be good to go. So that was one of the mistakes I had. It was really hard to move those deals when I went nationwide. We now have investor lift. So if you guys have deals under contract and you need help displaying those, send it to us. You can DM me on Instagram at It's Really Alvarez, and I will put you in contact with my team. We'll post it on Investors Lift, of course, if it's a good deal, and we'll sell it for you. We'll JV on it, and we'll figure out the split where it's fair for both parties. We're not greedy or anything or trying to take the whole deal. Chris said, literally the lesson I am learning about foreclosure. What are you going through right now, Chris? Like as far as like the timeline crunch when it comes to foreclosure, or you're having a hard time finding buyers? So you said, I built buyers list for 6 months first before I started. I came from commercial real estate. Oh, that's pretty dope. Hey, I would love to talk to you about commercials because we would really love to get into commercial. I would like to get into storage units, multifamily, implement that in a wholesale business. The biggest assignment fees that I've gotten was from acres, vacant land, 5 acres and above. It's really where the big money's at. But I heard storage units are doing well. Multifamily, it's obviously going to always do well when it comes to wholesaling those. So, Mr. CEO, I'd love to chat with you. You have some time. Let's see. Yeah, new people don't take on foreclosure if you don't have buyers or have a done deal. Definitely JV with someone. Investor Lift is my next investment. Yep. Investor Lift is definitely dope. And if you want to send us your deals to JV together, great. We'll move those deals fast and you'll get some revenue and then get Investor Lift on your own. I got 7.59 million Dallas, Texas warehouse under contract rate. Oof. Are you wholesaling that? That's good. What's the potential profits on that, if you don't mind me asking? Those are huge. Never done a deal, so I'm working pre-foreclosure and door knocking. If I get a deal, St. Louis, you got buyers there. Obviously, yes, 1000%. Investor Lift is nationwide, and we have a really great dispo team. One of the top dogs, Victor Fuentes, he was here earlier. But Andrew, feel free to join my Discord channel. I'll put the link, and we'll help you with anything you're having trouble with. I mean, I've never done door knocking. I never understood the process, the reason why people would door knock when you can just cold call someone and just get them on the phone. I do understand the benefit of adding that to your wholesale business because it's just an additional lead source of lead, and it definitely will help you get some money. Because sometimes when you door knock, those are people that it's hard to get on the phone with. But as far as consistency, I'll just get on the phone, man. Just get on the phone, close the deal. I'll put the link, my Discord channel. We do Zooms there, free resources you can use in your wholesale business. See what I got. Put it in. Here we go. The spread is $1 million. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. I think the biggest spread we've done was 1% of that. So congratulations to you, Mr. CEO. I definitely want to get into commercial for sure. So please, any tips you have, feel free to share. Let's see. Any tips or a summary for budgeting for a marketing campaign, including CRM, data, dialer, etc. So it depends, really. That's obviously going to depend on a lot, but a summary for a budgeting, I would say get the most important things first, Zane. I don't know what your systems are, but if you're not going to be the one consistently cold calling, which 99% of people who try to do that are not going to be consistent. That's why people get a VA, a virtual assistant. So I would make sure that's a priority. Get a virtual assistant. Learn how to pull your list properly, because if you have a virtual assistant and you're providing them with the incorrect motivated list to get a deal, you're just going to be throwing money at your budget and market, and it's just going to drain you out. So you want to make sure you have the right list in place. And again, you can join my Discord channel. We'll show you how to pull a list. I've done tons of looms on how to do that. And CRM, we use Podio. I have a guy that does automations as well. So if you're looking for a guy to do automations for you in Podio, let me know. Feel free to send your information and I'll connect you with him. I'll put you guys in a group chat or something. Let's see what else we have. But I would say roughly number wise, $1,500 to $1,000 a month. You have a pretty small, decent system in place that can get you 1 or 2 deals a month. That's what I would aim for. Yeah. Trying to wholesale. Let me know what you're having trouble with, Zane. Love to help you out. Trying to wholesale. Let me know. Chris, I think you're the one you said you were doing door knocking, right? Yep. What else? Max appraisal, JV in it, though. And we won't let it go that high. Need to move it faster. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'll tell everyone 3K a month minimum. For how many months to make sure I don't run out of money again? Zane, me personally, 3 months is cool. I think the market has changed since that was actually ideal. But me personally, if I was to start over and I really had to have money to get a wholesale deal, which you don't, you can really get a wholesale deal for free. But if I wanted to start my own system, I would gather 6 months worth of budgeting, because it takes about first 90 days, you're really just building up your pipeline. And what's crazy, Zane, is most people I've encountered with, or most people I've talked to about wholesaling, they literally quit right after 90 days. It's the craziest shit I've ever seen. I'm like, hey, it's going to take 90 days to build your system up. Keep it going. If you're cold calling, your conversion cycle is going to be 9 to 12 months. So take your time. If you're doing something else like paper lead, PPL, that's going to take you roughly about, what was it? Was it 3 months? Yeah, 1 to 3 months. So it's a lot faster, but it's more expensive. So PPL is definitely a good marketing strategy as well, Zane. Again, I have other information on how to do that. Just join the Discord, but there's tons and tons of places you can get PPLs. You can literally Google that. 10 DLC, 19 protection really took away. Yeah. CEO, what's your name, man? I would love to call you by your name, but Mr. CEO, the 10 DLC, the Texan really took away a lot of cheap ways to lock up deals. Dude, Texan was the shit back then, for sure. When I first started, you can literally just start texting people, no problem, nobody's concerned. You'll get some F bombs from sellers here and there, or hey, you're a scammer or whatever, okay. But there was no problem. No one is shutting you down. And you'll make easy 10, 15K a month just texting. We've heard my business partner has a friend that he will play video games and start texting people and make money every single month. That's how easy it was. But now that text, you have to register A2P, 10 DLC, you have to have a website, you have to have opt-ins, you have to have this. You can't say specific words in your text messages or you get blocked or the carrier's going to block you. It's the craziest stuff. I understand why they did that. It's just gonna encourage people to do more legitimate business in a way, but it is a hassle. It is a hassle, especially when it was already easy, and now you have to transition into this complicated system, which is fine, but it's a hassle. Definitely a hassle. Let's see. Yeah, 9 to 12 months for cold call. Yep. I'm gonna do. Yeah, Zane, if you join the Discord channel, I'm going to do a Zoom specifically on going over those things. It's going to be free Zoom, of course. It's all for you guys. Okay. Yep, can't send the same exact text more than 5 in an hour. I'll be flagged spam or Google voicemail will be banned. Yep, is the craziest thing. You have to use multiple different numbers. I think you can send about 1,000 text message for number per county. It was something weird. I don't handle the marketing stuff, but that's pretty much where it's at. It's not as easy anymore. Back then, you can just send a campaign of 10K, 15K, 20K. Now you have to be really careful. 2K here, 2K there. It's very complex. So for me right now, I'm sticking to with the marketing channels that we're using. We're using PPL. We're using cold calling. We're doing JV. What else are we doing? I think we're doing debt wholesaler, but that's kind of like cold calling anyway. But debt wholesaler leads for sure is one of them. And for sure, JV is a good one. So that's what we're sticking to. I don't know if we're doing SMS. I think one of our JV partners is doing SMS, but he's going through the hassle every single time. Cool. Well, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Again, don't forget, if you want to know more information like wholesale, feel free to join my Discord. I'm going to start doing more free Zooms, how to get started and what system you should be using, because we're constantly wholesaling, so we know what's not working anymore. Other than that, thank you for joining. Thank you for participating. We appreciate you participating. If you gain any value from this podcast today, all we ask for is share with your friends. Share with them on Tuesday. If you share with them today, they'll look at it and they'll, no, tell them to come to the live. Share with them on Tuesday, 5 minutes before, 1 minute before the live. Yo, I'm watching this podcast. You need to watch it right now. They're live right now. Go watch it. Okay. And if some people, they go on Instagram, they tag us, they post their biggest takeaway, that's much appreciated. Shout out to Mac for always doing that. I appreciate you, brother. And that's really about it. And if you guys have any questions, if you would like to DM me, feel free to DM me on Instagram at It's Really Alvarez. Other than that, I appreciate you guys. Thank you again, and see you next week, Tuesday, 5 p.m. Arizona time. 5 p.m. Arizona time.